Hello, this is Abubakar Swabir. I'll be your moderator. With me is my panelists. They are going to discuss Office of the Ombudsman as established in the 2010 Kenya Constitution. Before that, let them introduce themselves.
My name is Christine Jura, and these are my friends.
I'm Annette Mwendwa. I'm glad to be part of the panel that will be discussing this interesting motion with you. Thank you for joining us.
I'm Salim Mohammed, pursuing journalism and mass communication at Mount Kenya University. I'm very excited to be part of this discussion.
Thank you for your nice introduction. And my first question goes to Salim. What do you understand by the term Ombudsman or Office of the Ombudsman?
To start with, Ombudsman, it is a term which originated in Sweden, and it simply means a citizen defender or a representative of the people. There are so many countries right now in Africa which have established this office, but the first country in Africa to establish Office of Ombudsman is Tanzania. It is an institution or an office rather that receives complaints from persons, aggrieved persons, against everything to do with the government agencies, the government officials, and also has the power to investigate, recommend corrective actions, and also make reports and issues.
Thank you for that nice elaboration. Christine,
Yes.
can you briefly give us the history of this office in Kenya?
The office of the Ombudsman was first recommended by the Ndegwa Commission in 1971, but it was not established or implemented. In 2007, the then acting President Moi Kibaki implemented it as the Public Complaints Service Committee. In 2011, its name was changed to Commission of Administrative Justice. It is established in the 2010 Constitution under Chapter 15, and then it is described in Article 59 as the Kenya National Human Rights and Equality Commission. Thank you.
Thank you for that. There is a okay, Annette, can you kindly tell us more? What does Ndegwa Commission entails at that time?
Okay, thank you. During the reign of the then president in 1970, the president by then was Moi. He was in the year 1970, the then president of the central bank, Ndegwa, established a commission now, which is known as the Ndegwa Commission. This is a commission that handled anything to do with complaints regarding the public service sector. So this this commission, which is referred to as the Ndegwa Commission of 1970, as she has said, which recommended the establishment of the Ombudsman office, simply wanted an office that would be able to fight for the rights of the public in regard to any exploitations or any challenges they faced within the public services.
Back to you, who is the current ombudsman in Kenya, and same time you tell us the roles of this office.
So the current ombudsman in Kenya is Florence Kajuju, the former women rep from Meru County. She was appointed and also sworn in. Sorry, she was not appointed, but she was sworn in August 2018 by the former Chief Justice David Maraga. Also, the roles of this office are very distinct actually. So some of the functions that or some of the things that these offices offers to the general public include defending the rights of the people. This office is able to defend the rights of the people through when a person undergoes any exploitation or any issue within a public office, they can be able to go and visit the Ombudsman office, which is also known as the Commission on Administrative Justice, and be able to get the rights they are demanding for. Also, within this office, they are able to investigate any complaints regarding a public office. The commission or the office of the ombudsman can on its own initiative investigate a complaint made by the public, and also they can also investigate others without on their own initiative without having received the complaints from the public.
Thank you. Salim, kindly tell us what are the issues you can complain about in this office?
There are so many issues that Ombudsman Commission tackles, but some of the main include issue to do with illegal transfer of land ownership, things to do with the title deeds and everything. Another thing is delays in pension, delays in receiving pension, the workers' pension, especially the public workers. And also another thing is unfair dismissal of work. People are losing their job for no reasons.
There are more issues that you can complain about. There is inaction against the police. There is a delay of receiving identity cards, that is the national ID or passports. You can also complain about illegal transfer of land to private developers, and you can also complain about the illegal transfer of ownership of land without the owner's consent.
Thank you. And what are principles guiding this office? You want to add?
I'll clarify an issue on what they have said.
Okay.
When complaining, there are some issues you can complain about generally, or whom you can complain about, or which office you can complain about. So firstly, when a person demands a service from a public office, there are officers you meet there who do not offer your services, or they delay them. They don't offer them efficiently. You can complain about these offices or officers within these offices. You can also complain about officers who are being unprofessional or disrespectful. When receiving services from public offices, it's a common occurrence whereby people complain they were manhandled or mishandled within the office. Either they are the public officers there, in simpler terms, we can say the public officers they met there were very disrespectful or did not offer the services they required adequately. So you have the right as a citizen to visit any office of the ombudsman and complain and receive the justice you deserve.
Has the government made efforts for this office to be known by citizens?
Well,
Citizens know about this office?
For many people, the office of the ombudsman is a foreign word, if I may say so. Well, if we use the common term referring to this office, which is the Commission on Administrative Justice, as she said, which is established under the Kenyan Constitution. But for the government, I can say the government has failed, because most of the citizens are not aware that their rights can be defended by the government, because this is an office established under the arm of the government, which is the judiciary. So the government has failed in ensuring that the citizens have a lot of knowledge, or the necessary knowledge, about their rights or how they can acquire. For instance, for most people, it's a common occurrence when they go to apply for the identification cards, they either delay or they don't receive them because of some reasons they are not aware. For most citizens, they are not aware that there is an office that is supposed to defend them. So I think the government, if I may say, the government has failed in ensuring people have enough or adequate knowledge about this office.
Okay, nadhani hili litakuwa ni swali la nyote watatu kwenu. Ni serikali ya Kenya ifanye nini zaidi kwa wananchi kuweza kuielewa hii ofisi? Ni mambo gani ambayo tunaona serikali inafaa ifanye kwa wananchi kujua hii ofisi? Ningeomba kila mtu ajibu kati yenu. Nianze na hapa.
The government can ensure that this office, the Commission of Administrative Justice, because it is also stated out in the Constitution, as we said earlier, in Article 59, as the Kenya National Human Rights and Equality Commission, the government can give citizens, can publish gazettes, making citizens to be aware that this kind of office exists. And if you are not served well in government offices by government agencies, you can visit this office and complain about that issue, and they will investigate, then they will recommend the actions that should be taken.
Pass the mic, please.
Okay, so in my opinion, I can say the government, well, as we've seen already, the government is trying to take this office seriously, because in recent time we've seen the former Chief Justice came up with various suggestions on how this office can be known by the public. So I think the government is taking up the necessary measures to be able to do this. Also, it would be better if the government ensured that every citizen is aware of this office through making it, ensuring they can organize days on which people they do civil education, whereby the people are able to be educated on what this office is about. Because as I grew up, or I can say as of recent time, that's when I found out about this office. So people can be able to receive civic education on what this office is about. They can also be able to be trained. Even the students learning about the Kenyan system should be able to get a lot of education, or as we say, they may be able to get exposure on what this office is about. So I believe the government should be able to start civic education and also involve it as part of the main constituents of the judiciary system in Kenya.
The main thing that the government can do to boost Ombudsman office, just like my partner say, is civil education to the public and the citizen. And also another thing, the government has to put more power, in the Ombudsman, just like it has done in many of the government offices. For example, the Ombudsman office has to be given the power to acquire any information from the government offices, any kind of information from the government department, so that it can be able to tackle different issues and complaints coming from the public.
Okay, I like how you've answered this question, and this brings out the interest of BBI. As we have seen in the final report, the proposal, they are proposing that the Ombudsman, Office of the Ombudsman should be given more powers to an extent that to have an judiciary ombudsman, which will be, the ombudsman will be appointed by the President and approved by the Senate. And same time, the GSC, Judiciary Service Commission, they've said that there will be like a quagmire of the Constitution, like undermining the Constitution. We know that judiciary is an independent office. So wanasema kama the ombudsman ikipatiwa nguvu itakuwa ni kama imetoa nguvu ya judiciary. What is your take on this?
So as you said, according to what has been recommended by the current Chief Justice, the former Chief Justice David Maraga, that the office of the Ombudsman will be appointed and also approved by the Senate. So I believe by giving more mandate, you can support me if I say, by giving more mandate to the office of the Ombudsman, they will be able to support the defense system of the human rights in the country. As we've commonly seen, many people, we've seen many cases of land grabbing. Most of the citizens are not able to defend themselves in court, as they're not able to get lawyers to defend them. But through giving more mandate to the office of the Ombudsman, by giving them the judiciary Ombudsman, they'll be giving the citizens a chance to fight for their rights in a better way. In the judicial system of Kenya, we've seen many people not being able to get their rights served to them, but through the office of the judiciary ombudsman, they will be able to have a defender, if I may call this person. As we were able to hear, this is the defender of the citizens, or the representative of the citizens. So the judiciary ombudsman, as the BBI is proposing, should be able to be given more mandate so as to ensure they adequately defend the citizens. As the judiciary is claiming that there will be undermining, as they're calling it, I don't believe they'll be, it will not be the quagmire. They will not be undermined in any way. The judiciary in Kenya is known to be a well-respected arm of government. So by giving the judiciary ombudsman some mandate, is simply having some slight power taken from the judiciary, not much of it.
Okay. Bear in mind, nitakuja kwako Salim, they've said that they will work in parallel, which means the way naweza chukua kesi nikapeleka kwa judiciary, same time naweza ileta kwa office of the ombudsman, which mean kunaweza kuwa na conflict of interest, because naweza chukua kesi hii nikaileta kwa ombudsman na nipeleke same time kwa judiciary, but maybe kunaweza kuwa na different decision kwa wote watachukua.
Well, we've commonly seen most of the cases forwarded to the judiciary are not adequately handled. The judiciary, most of the cases, we've had complaints whereby people say their cases were taken to the judiciary 10 years ago, and until now they have not received the verdict. But when cases involving public services office, so what then we need to understand is that the office of the Ombudsman deals with the public service sector, but the judiciary deals with the whole system of the, I may say, the Kenya yote. Sasa any issue, may it be any financial issues, may it be any private sector issue, but the office of the Ombudsman is specifically dealing with public service sector. So I'm saying they're working in parallel lines, but at the end of the day, the judiciary is not able to handle these cases adequately. So it's about time they hand them over to somebody else who is dealing with them specifically.
And at the same time, just like my sister said, there are so many cases stranded in our courts. Lakini tukiangalia ombudsman sana sana inaangalia mwananchi wa kawaida, vitu ambavyo vinamwathiri mwananchi wa kawaida, mambo na title deeds, mambo na kukosa kazi na vitu kama hivyo. Haina haja ya kuwa parallel kama lengo letu sote ni kitu kimoja. Judiciary itabakia kuwa judiciary bado ni powerful. Ushaona? Sasa kitu kizuri mimi ningependekeza, it is good when you have that cooperation between the judiciary and the office of the ombudsman, ama specialization. Hawa wanatackle vitu hivi na wengine wanatackle vitu hivi.
Okay. Nataka pia kuleta swala la budget in terms of finance. Tumeona ni like paka Maraga ameondoka katika uongozi, umekuwa wakililia budget yao inakuwa ni ndogo sana, hiyo pesa inawekwa hata hawaifikii. Na unaona the office of the ombudsman ikiwa more powerful, it's mean they'll have institution in different counties, constituencies. So unaona kwamba hauoni itakuwa pia itakaba tena zaidi. Tayari judiciary serikali imeshindwa kuwapatia fedha. What if kuintroduce tena hii? So utaona kidogo serikali hapo itakuwa kuwawezesha kipesa itakuwa ni ngumu. What is your take, Christine?
I think that this office, the office of the Ombudsman, when it comes to the proposed changes, those that are stated in the BBI, that may be a bit expensive, especially considering the state of economy that this country is in right now, the burden on taxpayers. So I think this office and the judiciary, this office is established under the judiciary, right? So nothing should interfere with the judiciary or the way the judiciary operates by giving another office more power than the judiciary itself. So this office can be given the power, yes, and the mandate to receive complaints from the public and from aggrieved citizens and then investigate them. And if they find them to be correct, they can take action. They can be given the mandate to take action against these complaints and maybe they can deal with those who have been complained about without first having going to the judiciary, because as we have heard from the others, cases in courts take very long. Yeah.
Okay, thank you for that, and for that tunafikia swali letu la mwisho. What are the principles guiding the commission? What are the principles guiding the Ombudsman Commission? Okay. Number
one, we have confidentiality. The commission is guided by one principle, which is the most important, the confidentiality of its clients. If you go to the commission, complain about someone, some office or anyone in the government who did not give you the required services, the commission should not disclose out your name or your personal information. they should keep it confidential for your own security and for your protection. Yeah.
Well, she has said the confidentiality. I will also add on another one is impartiality. When you receive various cases, you should be impartial, or as per se, you should be able to identify the case without having to favor either the clients, the person who has complained, or the person being complained about. So for the Office of the Ombudsman, they ensure that it's a necessity, if I may say, that they ensure they do not become biased. Let both sides be able to defend themselves, or let them do adequate investigation to prove that either of the sides is as guilty as accused.
Another principle we can talk about equity, ama Kiswahili tunasema usawa. That is, they should not focus their intention on race, things to do with wealth or anything like that, things to do with tribes and all that. Equity, usawa katika kufanya maamuzi yao.
Okay, mimi niwashukuru kwanza, na ningependa labda kama kila mtu atatoa neno lake la mwisho kuhusiana na mada ambayo tumeiongelea.
The existence of the Commission on Administrative Justice is it's important because it serves you as a citizen, kama mwananchi wa kawaida, and any complaint that you have against the government agencies, employees, police, you can present your case to them, what someone in those agencies has done to you. Either they were rude or your services were delayed, and you'll get help. Yeah.
Well, in conclusion, I'll say for each and every citizen in the country, in our country, Kenya, you have to learn most of the offices within the judiciary system that can help you. As we commonly know, most of the people are not aware about their rights themselves. So you will not be able to have your rights defended if you're not aware of their existence. So let's make an effort to know which office is responsible for defending our rights, and the more so one that deals with the public service. In our day-to-day activities, we visit very many public service offices. It is our own responsibility to ensure that we are aware of where we can get the best defense from. So let's all make sure you know the nearest office of the Ombudsman near you. Just visit them and find out more about your right. For most people, it's a common case whereby people say they were unfairly dismissed from work. It's your right to be able to work and be dismissed from work in the right way. So seek your rights from the office of the Ombudsman. Let's make use of this public office. It's there for us to use, and as a citizen, it's your right to use it. Thank you.
I will add the publics of the citizens out there that let us respect the office of Ombudsman the same way we respect the office of the judiciary. We have to respect the office of Ombudsman the way we respect the office of judiciary.
Bila shaka mpenzi mtazamaji, umeweza kuangalia mjadala huu ambao tumeweza kuzungumzia kwa kina zaidi Office of the Ombudsman ambayo iko katika katiba yetu ya Kenya, na ni haki yako wewe Mkenya kuweza kujua ofisi hii ama asasi hizi za kiserikali ambazo zinakusaidia wewe kuweza kukinga wewe na kunyanyaswa na hali yoyote ile. Jina langu ni Abubakar Swabir Mahadh. Asante.